Okay. So tonight, as you may well know, there is a presidential debate. It's the first one of three. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to give a little extra credit assignment, and I'm going to do this for each of the debates. Um, so my plan is like if you just did one, um, I'll give you just a little bit of extra credit. Maybe that might mean bumping a bad grade up a little bit, like on just a classwork assignment. Um, you know, if everything's turned in, maybe just adding a point here to your grade or something like that. And then if you do all three, the plan is to give you kind of a free 100 on a quiz grade, which can be a pretty big deal because we don't have that many quiz grades. So that's kind of the incentive to do this. Not totally sure what I'll do if you just did one or two, but it'll be worth your while to do it. It'll help you out to do this stuff. So for the first one, well, I guess I'll just talk about the debate a little bit. So every every time we have an election cycle, the two candidates are going to get together and just debate the issues. And I mean, they do this before, like when there are people being nominated for presidents, they'll have debates amongst themselves, and eventually we narrow it down to the final two candidates, and they'll have these debates. And we do this pretty much for any big political office. A couple of nights ago, I kind of hate that it kind of snuck up on me, but we had one for the North Carolina Senate vote as well. And that particular debate was a pretty good example of, I think, the debate structure working. People stuck to time limits. People were generally pretty good about answering the questions, I thought, and they were respectful of each other. I would guess that this presidential debate will not be like that if it's anything like it was last time. Normally in class, I show snippets of presidential debates to show kids how not to act when we have debates in class. That's something we've kind of missed out on. But they're interesting nonetheless, and I think they're important to watch just so you can kind of get a gauge on, I don't know, what's happening, or how politicians see things happening, or how they try to present themselves. It's just an interesting thing to look at. So what I have here tonight, I'm going to keep it fairly simple. We're going to play a little bit of debate bingo. So you can see all these terms here. I'm going to let you fill in the board. I thought about filling in the board for you, but then I realized everyone's board would be exactly alike, and that's not really fun. That's not the point of bingo. So you're going to fill in the board with what you think they'll talk about. So there's some topics up here. If you have a different topic that you think they might address as well, you can put that one in too. But I think this kind of covers a lot of what's going to be talked about. You can see coronavirus is there, reopening schools. That's a big hot button issue right now. The environment, the stock market, all these things are always things that they're going to be talking about. Plus some things. The other thing that I might add right now, I can assure you this week that someone is going to bring up Trump's taxes. Guaranteed. That was a big thing that happened the other day, and it will be talked about. So you can fill in the board how you want to, and then as you're filling it in, you'll just put it up here, kind of underline it, talk about which candidate. You can just write down briefly who brought it up, or if the question was asked, period. And you can just kind of take some like short notes on what they said, just to kind of organize your thoughts. And then afterwards, at the end of all that, you can highlight. Sorry, when you've landed on bingo, if that makes sense. Afterwards, just have to write a paragraph, just so based on the debate, identify which topics and issues each candidate focused on the most. That's kind of why you're taking the notes throughout. What do they focus on the least? What do they not want to talk about? For example, I'm not sure. I'm not a soothsayer or anything like that. I would guess that Biden tonight is going to want to talk about this issue quite a bit. I would guess that Trump will not. They will probably, like, mail-in voting will be another hot button issue. They'll probably have different opinions on that. There'll be things that they try to avoid, things that they don't. Biden Trump might try to take Biden to task on his stance on something like police reform, and Biden might try to avoid talking about that subject because he thinks that his stance might be kind of divisive. I don't know. There are a lot of examples of this. There'll be things that certain candidates don't want to talk about as much, and some things that certain candidates do want to talk about more. And it's all strategic. It's all trying to make them look good and the other person bad. So that's the key for this. And then answering these questions, what are they focusing on the most? What are they focusing on the least? Why do you think that is? And you're just responding in a paragraph. So it's a pretty simple assignment for tonight. It's totally optional. You'll have until the end of the week to do it. If you miss the debate, it'll get posted on YouTube later. I'll give you a link tomorrow. But if you're going to do it, it'll need to be done by the end of the week. So that's it. Let me know if you have questions. Otherwise, have a good day.